Glorious scenes here at Clay Pigeon Raceway as we get ourselves underway for the birelART UK Series Juniors, live on the birelART UK Series Facebook page via Alpha Live, and of course on the Downforce UK radio stream on Spreaker as well. Great stuff from the drivers, and one man who's very, very disappointed that he's not racing this weekend. Zach Parkinson is watching at home, sad not to be there. Good luck to all my mates. See you at the next one. Oh, darn it, I thought you would get rid of him. Anyway, no, he's going to be back to his best, Zach Parkinson, next time out at fullback. So make sure you get as many championship points on the board as you can, guys. And I'm sure that Zach Parkinson will be trying to take a few off you when he returns to the championship at fullback. Few drivers away for this weekend, unfortunately, for the birelART Juniors. It is exam season. We have to bear that in mind. Drivers, of course, making sure that their education is paramount. This is a national karting championship, of course, but you do have to make sure that your exams are a main focus, and a couple of drivers, unfortunately, have exams clashing at exactly the wrong moment from their point of view. So it's going to be a really interesting race with a couple of those absentees. So far in the practice sessions, it's been incredibly unpredictable. But we've had a few drivers consistently in the top 5 over the course of the sessions. In particular, Toby Baldry, the number 9, who seems to be in the front 5 in pretty much every session thus far this weekend. And he seems to be one of the drivers who's going to be a real thorn in the side of his opposition. However, there are a couple of other drivers who are having a really strong weekend in terms of pace. Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate, is one of them. Jack Rigg is having an amazing weekend thus far, right up in there in the top 5 and going beautifully with it. And then, of course, we have Ben Gartside, who's having a really strong weekend for pace as well. But one of the things we've noticed about the juniors this year is that from one session to the next, from one circuit to the next, no order is the same from session to session. And that's brilliant because it means unpredictability is going to be paramount. In the 4th session yesterday, the fastest of all was the 100 of Tom Davison, who's here this weekend with his he's here this weekend with his new MetSource graphics kit on the kart, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And his close rival and friend Harry Graham is also one of the drivers who's been at the sharp end, but it's been incredibly unpredictable throughout, so we still don't really know how the battle is going to be this weekend. We were talking about Jack Rigg a little earlier on. Jenny Rigg has just sent us a message. Sorry we can't be there. Love, Mum and Abby. And I'm sure Jack will have a fantastic weekend at the office in order to make up for it. So Jack Rigg is ready for the action. Yes, it's always great when the PA system is right next to the pit lane, isn't it? The embarrassment factor is right there for all the drivers to see. Are there any nicknames from home that we should know about? No, don't go that far. Anyway, so the drivers are getting themselves ready for the action. We have a couple of new recruits in the championship in the last couple of rounds. Of course, stepping up from cadets, we've had the number 124, Tom Harvey, who made his debut in the class last weekend at Landau, last time out. And the first time out this weekend for the 101, Dylan Brierley, making the step up from cadets up into juniors as he is now of age and is ready to go racing at this level, and he has absolutely loved it, having made the step up. It seems to be exactly the right choice to move up into the juniors, so things are going very well from his point of view. There's another one who's moved up from cadets this year, and that is the number 98 of Louis Ross, who again really seems to have hit his stride moving up into the juniors. He's having a lot of great racing over at Landau, and here this weekend he should be very strong and on the ball as well. But there's a few drivers to keep an eye on. We're all hoping for a little bit more luck from Morgan Cole, who's had an absolute nightmare of a season thus far. Really struggled at Landau. Yesterday wasn't much better, to be fair, so hopefully this is where we're going to break his kart in half, find out it's got bad luck written through it like Blackpool Rat, put it back together, and he'll be absolutely fine again. Nicky Taylor's one to watch this weekend as well, the number 4. He's been very strong and threatening very strong pace from the off. But another man who always ceases to amaze me in this championship is the number 90, Dylan Reed. He doesn't really do the entirety of the sessions because he has school on Saturday mornings, so he has to dash from wherever he is at that point and then run to the circuit. Fortunately, he's quite close to the circuit here, so he joined in from session 3 yesterday, but was fast straight out of the blocks because he knows this place very well, of course. So good to see how Dylan Reed is going, and he is very much a threat for the podium this time out, as he was last time at Landau, of course, when he charged his way forward and ended up on the rostrum in the final. An amazing performance from Dylan Reed. A few more laps and he might have won the whole thing. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the top level drivers in this field. There's a lot of other drivers to consider. Scott Huntley is always going to be a factor, of course, the number 6, 6th in the championship last year, hence the number, carrying those fantastic McLaren tribute colours of the Ayrton Senna 1988 McLaren, which is his favourite car, and of course Senna being his favourite driver. The rookies are doing well, of course, we shouldn't forget about them. Alicia Parmowski, one of the top new drivers in the championship, still only 11 years old, one of the youngest in the class. She turns 12 in September, so she is one of the youngest people in the junior championship, but she's been testing the car for an entire year coming into this season, so she's well prepared for it. There's plenty of other new faces in the junior championship in 2018 as well. Vijay Ramlal, the number 99, who's been very strong over the course of his testing program last year, came in at the last round of the championship in 2017 at Wilton Mill and already proved his mettle there. Landau was a good weekend from his point of view. The pace has been difficult to find at Clay Pigeon thus far yesterday, but I have a feeling that in qualifying he will turn his game around and be right on the money once again. It's been good to welcome back into the championship after a leave of absence Connor Stanton, who last racing in the championship as a cadet, of course, wasn't racing in 2017, came back for this year as a junior, and he's been a really interesting threat for this championship season so far. He's been putting it off some great overtaking moves. One of the man who's leading the championship, though, well, Callum Gunning, of course, swept all before him at Landau a few weeks ago for the first round of the championship. This weekend, at least in practice yesterday, he's been struggling. It's very close because we've got the entire field covered by just under a second, pretty much. And it's going to be an interesting one because Callum Gunning was about 3 or 4 tenths of a second off the pace in the preliminary practice sessions yesterday, but he's sure to find it in qualifying today. I wonder if they might have been sandbagging coming into today, because a lot of drivers will do a few bits and pieces here and there in practice, but Saturday practice doesn't really tell us everything about what we're going to see in the races itself, because it just leaves us a few more unanswered questions. So there's going to be some really interesting puzzles to unravel. Then, of course, there's the other rookie in the field, Lewis Berry, who's been very strong and very competitive over the course of Landau. He was very strong with some good overtaking moves and great in the battle. But I have a feeling at Clay Pigeon, where slipstreaming is obviously going to come into effect, there'll be a few choice overtaking moves. Lewis has proven he's absolutely no stranger to danger, puts himself in a lot of good positions to make those overtaking moves happen, and he's really, really crafty with it. So I'm sure he's going to handle himself very, very well indeed in the top 6. If he gets an opportunity to be there at the front end of the field, he's going to be difficult to knock down the order. So there's a lot of very incredible talent drivers within this field. They're all incredibly skilled drivers, and it's very hard to know who's going to be at the front, because whoever was in last place at the last session tends to be near the front in the next one. It's incredibly even. All of these drivers have a chance to win. This could be one of the most fascinating qualifying sessions of the season, because this is Clay Pigeon. It's a short circuit. It's only about 35 seconds for the lap. So everybody is going to be absolutely on their A game in this qualifying session, and it's going to be hard to predict. So the drivers are going to really focus on this one. It will be very tough. Catherine Huntley watching for Scott Huntley and Louis Ross out on the grid. This is going to be such a difficult qualifying session to predict, even more so than the cadets and the senior elites. This is going to be a tough one because it has been so competitive. It's been very tough to call which drivers are doing better than the others out there. And as we keep saying, from one session to the next, it's been incredibly tough to call. Now, as we get underway for the qualifying session for the juniors, one of the cadets has come up, and one of the top cadets has come up, actually. Finishing his session in 10th position, it's Craig Evans. Craig, good to see you. That looked like a pretty good qualifying session from my point of view. How did you feel?
It felt quite good. After further warm-up, we couldn't start the engine, so we had to get a new carb fitted. So, good thing the quali went quite well. I'm happy with second fastest rookie. Hopefully I can get past Archie to try and get fastest rookie this time.
There's a lot of battles within battles in this class, isn't there? Because everybody's very closely matched and everybody wants to move forward, but the 5th row of the grid is not a bad place to start from.
No, it's not. But I think this is the better track because most of the rookies are up with the established drivers, so it's not just one group of established drivers and a group of rookies. It's everyone mixed up, so it should be an interesting race.
Okay, good stuff, Craig. Good luck with it.
Thanks.
So it is going to be very interesting as the day goes on, as we thought it would be. There will be some absolutely terrific racing once the qualifying sessions end. We're not far away from that, actually, because obviously we've got 8 minutes of qualifying here for the juniors. Then we'll have the Super Elites session, which we'll talk more about when we get to it. But there will be some absolutely fantastic races to come as things get underway. Jamie Sharp has wandered over as well. It's going to be an interesting race for you, Jamie, because That was a very close qualifying session with all of the cadets. How is it going at the moment?
It's going pretty well at the minute, but as soon as we get into the races, it'll be going even better.
So this is a very early part of the season. You're still getting used to the kart, the drivers. How are you feeling at the moment?
A bit okay and a bit nervous at the same time. So I'll get ready for it.
And obviously the field is very competitive, but you've been able to make friends with the other drivers, even the ones that have been racing here for a while, really quickly. It's a nice environment to be in.
Yeah, it's a really nice one.
Excellent. So what's your target for this season? I mean, are you just focusing on being the top rookie, or do you think there could be a podium or two by the end of the year?
Maybe I could, and I couldn't. I don't know. I could get third if everyone crashes or something. Maybe.
Awesome. Well, good to talk to you, Jamie. Have a great race today.
You too.
Oh, that's not going to be hard. I always have a good race. I was doing the maths yesterday, actually, and I figured out that during the course of the Landau weekend, I hit my 100th live commentary for the birelART UK Series, because there was 96 races last year with 4 different classes. There are only 3 classes this year, but I'll tell you why that's not really a problem in my book a little bit later when we get to the Super Elite session. But this is already being very, very strong indeed for Harry Graham. He's been in the top 5 for most of this weekend, and he's there at the sharp end at the moment with Tom Harvey in second place. Tom Harvey is right up in P2 at the moment. That's an incredible turn of speed from Tom. Newbie to the championship in 2018, having stepped up from cadets last. And Tom Harvey is right up there at the front. And then comes Callum Gunning. I did wonder if yesterday he was sandbagging a little bit, and it looks like he was. Callum Gunning has gone to the top. He is .026 in front of Louis Ross, another of the cadets who stepped up and is doing an absolutely amazing job. So this is a really strong start to the weekend, but Callum Gunning is on the top spot at the moment with Jill, Nan and Grandad all watching from home. And this is going to be a really interesting session. Look at how close it is in the top 3 at the moment. Graham goes back to the top, a 35.008. Then it is Gunning from Louis Ross, Scott Huntley up to P4, Tom Harvey in 5th, Nicky Taylor in 6th place. Then it is Toby Baldry. Then we have Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate, in 8th position. Tom Davison is 9th, and Dylan Reed is in 10th. Then it's Ben Gartside from Jack Rigg. Alicia Barmowski going well in front of Morgan Cole. Then it's Dylan Briley, the newbie, fresh into the juniors this weekend. Then we have Connor Stanton, Vijay Ramlal, and then Lewis Berry in the 80 is in 18th at the moment. Really interesting, some of the changes that have been made overnight. And again, the order is slightly different from what we saw yesterday. Amazing that from session to session, we get a completely different order in the time practices. So we're never really quite sure who is going to have a strong run over the course of the weekend. A good friend of the championship, Amy Jurger, is watching at home. Good luck, Alicia. It's exam season for Amy as well, obviously being a student of the Silverstone University Technical College. So sadly, Amy Jurger is not going to be racing in the Super Elites this weekend, but I'm sure she'll be back in time for Fullbeck. Great battles in this qualifying session already, and a few changes as Harry Graham is at the top, Callum Gunning in second, from Louis Ross, Toby Baldry, Scott Huntley and Tom Harvey in the top 6. Really exciting stuff. Nicky Taylor 7th. Then it's Tom Davison, Sam Cunliffe, Dylan Reed, Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Barmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal, all covered by a second, with Lewis Berry only a couple of tenths further back. Brilliant stuff. Really exciting battles. While we've got a little bit of time still to kill, let's have a word with Archie Heron, actually. Archie's had a really good session just then. Really good start to the weekend, and top rookie. You must be really happy with that.
Like, sometimes you just have to push the kart to its limits to get, like, top rookie and everything. Sometimes you might not do as well, but if you try your best, you can always succeed to get your places in the final. And sometimes in the final, you might come first, second, or third. But whatever place you come, it doesn't matter. You've tried the race.
You're not far off the top 6 pace as well either, so not only are you looking at potentially being the top rookie, you could hit the top 6 today.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I could if I keep on pushing the car and I pick my moments to overtake. I'll try my best to get in the top 5 or 6.
Good job, mate. Well done so far.
Thank you.
Another one of the cadets has come up as well, another of the rookies, Josh Turnbull. Josh, this has been a good start to the weekend for you as well. The pace looks really good at the moment.
Yeah, it's lucky that I've got some 41s around this track. I thought I'd get some 40s, but...
You've settled into the championship really well. I don't think it's going to be too long before you're regularly in the top 10. Do you think it's achievable today?
Yeah, I think it is.
Good man. Well, have a good race today. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff thus far then from the... We've got a really good crop of rookies in 2018. More rookies than established drivers in the 2018 season, and that means it's going to be very, very short a time indeed before we see them battling away for victories. As the racing continues here for the pole position, we've got less than 2 minutes to go in the session, and we're going to have some really exciting battles as things currently go. A lot of motivation for the drivers from home as they battle away for position. Wayne Clark rooting for Callum Gunning back at home. Come on, Callum, P1, he's not far from it. 0.095, that's not a lot to find, but it's very hard to find around here at Clay Pigeon. It's only a 35-second lap, so very, very tough to find that little bit of extra. And as you can see on your timing screen, just off to the left of your picture, if you're watching on the birelART UK Series Facebook page, everybody in this field is now covered by less than a second. That is absolutely amazing when you consider how close it is this year. But Harry Graham is on the top spot as we head into the last minute. Gunning, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Harvey, Taylor, Davison, Cunliffe and Reed in the top 10. And that whole section of drivers has a whisker of over 0.4 of a second between them. Then we got Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Parmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley, Lewis Berry, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal, all within the mix. Try and pick a winner from that lot, because I certainly can't. Brilliant stuff. It's going to be so close, but starting from the front is definitely going to be a key element, and that's why qualifying is so important here at Clay Pigeon. You've got to be absolutely on your A game, and the senior elite drivers will be watching this session very, very attentively, because they'll be trying to move their way further forward, and this is going to be very hard to predict. So with a few seconds left of the session, we're going to get the birelART Juniors grid sorted out for the first heat very shortly indeed. Morgan Cole shaking his head down the main straight. He's really struggling to find that ultimate pace. He's only 0.6 back, but in this session, that is very, very hard to find, as we keep mentioning. We're in the final couple of seconds now. 2, 1, time up, checkered flag out, and Harry Graham is going to be on the top spot if he remains where he is. Callum Gunning coming through, his last chance to get the top spot. Not this time, but the front row of the grid looks pretty stable for him. Toby Baldry trying to find that little bit extra, and he has made an improvement, but hasn't moved up from 6th position. So he's just 0.06 of a second slower than Scott Huntley. Really exciting battle this for pole position, and the whole field is separated by less than a second. That is the junior grid in birelART UK Series in 2018. If that's not a better advert for this championship, if you could think of a better advert, well, you're a better man than me, Gungered in, because that's 18 karts in the entire junior field separated by less than a second. That's how close it is here at Clay Pigeon. I know it's only a short circuit, but still, the level of competition in the birelART Junior Brigade in 2018 is phenomenal. 18 karts, less than a second, pole position being critical, and this time it has gone to Harry Graham. Callum Gunning alongside him on the front row from Tom Harvey, right up there in 3rd place. A cracking final lap for him, puts him P3. Louis Ross in 4th. Then it is Scott Huntley and Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor in 7th place. Tom Davison is 8th. Sam Cunliffe in 9th position from Dylan Reed. Then Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Parmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley, Lewis Berry, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal. And the whole field is less than a second apart. That's awesome. Really, really good stuff from the juniors. And obviously we move on from the juniors into the next class, and she's slowly turning into my favourite battle in the 2018 birelART Series grid. Fever pitch racing here at Clay Pigeon. It's always that way in the birelART UK Series paddock, but particularly here this weekend, we've had a great race so far. Ryan Smith just reminding us, very close in the top 5. You're not wrong, it really was. Fantastic racing, and it proves that Oakley Keatley was a man never to say die. Always fought his way forward there, got himself into 2nd position on the last corner of the last lap of the first race of the weekend. Brilliant stuff. So now we move our focus from the cadets to the juniors, and it's Harry Graham, the leading seed coming into this weekend, the number 3 last year. only beaten in the championship last year by Tyrone Stansfield and Harry Barlow, who have now stepped up, of course, to the Super Elites. So on paper, Harry Graham is the championship favourite, but he knows that this is going to be a much harder task than just being the number 3 seed. Alongside him on that front row of the grid is Callum Gunning, who did so well at Landau, won all 3 races in the end after an amazing battle, but that is going to be a very tough act to repeat, especially when you've got so many talented drivers starting directly behind. Particularly, a very strong work this weekend from Tom Harvey. They're in 3rd position on the grid. This is only his 2nd meeting as a junior, and he really has stepped up to the plate beautifully. He's got great pace this weekend at Clay Pigeon, and hopefully there's another strong run, as well as his rival from last year on the same row of the grid, Louis Ross. The cadets have come up to juniors and been very strong immediately. Always great to see that the cadets have come up to the new class, their latest class, up to juniors, and been flying out of the box straight away. I'm sure that the established guard from last year are not particularly happy about it, but there's not a lot they can do about it except beat them. Scott Huntley on the 3rd row of the grid, looking very strong this time out. Alongside him, Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor, 7th position on the starting grid this time for the first race of the weekend. Alongside him, the 100 of Tom Davison, and that's going to be a really interesting challenge to move forward. And then, of course, in behind we have the likes of Sam Cunliffe. So it's going to be a really interesting grid. Let's run through the Junior 100 heat grid in full as we look at the proceedings. It's going to be so close in this race, with the entire field now from qualifying separated by just a second. Really exciting stuff. I'll talk to a couple of the cadets in a moment who look absolutely fresh-faced and fresh as a daisy after that race, because we've got a few of them coming up here to the balcony at Clay Pigeon. We'll talk to them in a moment. Harry Graham and Callum Gunning on that front row of the grid. Tom Harvey and Louis Ross in behind. The cadets from last year moving up into the juniors and being on the 2nd row of the grid. Very exciting and very good to see. Scott Huntley and Toby Baldry, 2 of the top drivers from last year, right there at the front again this year on the 3rd row of the grid. Nicky Taylor still searching for that elusive first victory. Could happen here at Clay Pigeon. He's got the speed and the racecraft and the prowess to do it. Then we've got Tom Davison alongside him. Sam Cunliffe and Dylan Reed will round out the top 10. And both of those drivers have tasted victory in the last 3 meetings they've done. Ben Gartside and Jack Rigg will be there on the 6th row of the grid. Very impressive in yesterday's practice session, and hopefully they will continue to put on some great performances here this weekend. Then we have Alicia Parmowski, the rookie, doing very well indeed there to go 13th fastest alongside Morgan Cole, who's still not too far away, but because it's so close, only in fact has 14th position as a starting point, but he will move his way forward, and he's got support from home, I should point out. The best of British and Welsh, of course, from Grandma at home. So that's going to be an interesting race for him there. 15th and 16th on the grid. Sharing the 8th row is the new boy to the Junior Championship this weekend, Dylan Brierley, who's enjoying his new rocket ship to play with. And then we have Lewis Berry alongside him on the grid, with Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal on that 9th row of the grid. And there is less than a second between them all. Now let's have a catch up with a couple of the cadets. Firstly, Lily Jeffs, who fought her way into the top 10 in that first race. Lily, that was pretty exciting stuff. That battle for 7th could have gone anybody's way, but great to see you in the top 10 at the end of it. Talk us through the race from your point of view.
Well, I was at the back, sort of, but I was waiting for everyone to battle each other so I could go by, and that's what happened with Archie and Callum. So I got past Callum, so he was behind me, and me and him were battling, and then he got by me, and then Craig spun, so I thought that was really good, and then that was the end lap, so exciting.
Seems to be that there's 3 of you cadets that are starting to break clear and join the rest of the elite. That's yourself, Archie and Craig. It looks like there could be a battle between you 3 for the top rookie. So a good start to the weekend here. Can you move any further forward in the next heat, do you think?
Hopefully, yeah. But if I still finish 10th, I'll still be happy with that.
You've done a fantastic job so far, Lily. Well done.
Thanks.
Really good job. Let's talk to the top rookie from that race, actually, Archie Heron, who was right in the mix there, battling right to the finish line, in fact, with Aidan Hassan and Callum Lockett. That was very close, Archie. How did things go from your point of view?
Well, it was good, but when Craig spun, I didn't know, like, how, so I think he, like, locked up or he spun in the corner. So, like, I got past Callum coming through the S, because he, like, went out wide, so I came up the inside and got the place. Then Craig spun, so that's where I got him, and then after Callum was trying to get me before Craig span, and I kept the place because we were all going three wide through the big corner, coming through to the pit straight.
Fantastic. So a great first race. Hopefully there's 2 more like that in the bag for you later. Good luck.
Thank you.
So we've got the junior race coming up a little bit later on. Let's have a chat with one of the drivers in the Super Elites coming up. You were trying to hide from me there, Will. I saw that. And thank you for the component that's now going to join your front nose cone from last year in my office as well. Your dad's done a good service there. So what can we see from this junior race? It's going to be very close with these guys. You've been hanging out with them over the course of the weekend. It's going to be so close in this battle, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. It's great to see Harry up there, actually, Harry Graham. I don't think he had the best of luck in the races, but hopefully he can do well in this one. And yes, Scott's good around here, so hopefully he can move up. So yeah, I think it'll be a good race, I think.
It's been a really interesting start to the year in the juniors because every session from one to the next, it's been a complete shuffle of the deck. We don't really know who's the established guard. So after Callum did so well at Landau, it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that pace up.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely do well. He's a really good driver, so yeah.
Frustrating qualifying from you because, of course, a flat tyre is not the way you want to start your weekend.
Yeah, I just noticed something wasn't right on my front left, and turned out my valve had a leak on it, so it wasn't a puncture, luckily. But yeah, it was just the valve leaking, so we've sorted it out. So hopefully it won't do it again, and hopefully we can finish the heat and hopefully the rest of the races. That's what I'm aiming to do.
Well, we know you're good at fighting back, Will. Hopefully it's a much stronger end to the day.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Awesome stuff. So let's get into the race action then for the juniors. It's going to be very, very close. How is the battle going to go in this one? Well, we'll find out. And a bit of a big up from Stuart Briley watching at home. His first ever junior race. How is he going to go? Well, he's right in the mix and right in contention. So we're about to find out. So Harry Graham and Callum Gunning, Tom Harvey, Louis Ross, Scott Huntley, Toby Baldry, Nicky Taylor and Tom Davison. Let's go racing one more time. The round then will go before we go racing, because that ended up being not the cleanest of rolling laps. So they're going to go round one more time. This is going to be really, really exciting. The juniors have been so close, to be fair. And I'm not entirely sure who's going to get the victory this time because they are so closely matched at the front end of the field. But just look at the names we've got in that top 10 this time. Harry Graham, Callum Gunning, Tom Harvey, Louis Ross, Scott Huntley, Toby Baldry, Nicky Taylor, Tom Davison, Sam Cunliffe and Dylan Reed. Any one of those 10 could win this first race of the weekend. Any one of them could be on the top step of the podium at the third and final time of asking this afternoon. It's all very, very close and very unpredictable. That's what we like about it. Here we go. Let's go racing this time in the juniors. They will even up as they come across the line. And it's going to be a clean start this time. Yes, it is. Away we go racing into that first corner. A really, really good charge to the first corner. And it's all clean as we go through the first couple of corners. Out in front it is Callum Gunning who's taken the initial lead. He goes through. Harry Graham in his second position. That's Toby Baldry looking likely to try and make up his way through. But it's Tom Harvey who's held on the third. Graham gets the move on Gunning to take the lead back again. Very nice move. It looks like there's been a little bit of jostling further back in the pack. I think we've had Tom Davison and Dylan Reed drop down to the back of the field behind Dylan Briley and Connor Stanton. So they're going to be charging their way forward. But how about this? Graham leads the way from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley and Baldry. Then Nicky Taylor, Sam Cunliffe. And it looks like Ben Gartside's being chased down by Alicia Barmowski. Great start to the race then in the juniors. They've really given us great quality entertainment in this first couple of laps. Tom Harvey right in there in third position, chasing down Callum Gunning. Harry Graham determined not to be beaten. Who's that that's run wide? I think that's a little bit of a mistake there from Alicia Barmowski, who's going to lose a couple of places. That's Lewis Berry having gone through. Morgan Cole's gone through. Jack Riggs gone through. And now she's being chased down by Vijay Ramlal. Then it's Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton, Dylan Reed and Tom Davison. Here they come. Graham is leading. Callum Gunning second from Harvey. Ross. Morgan Cole's batting away with Lewis Berry further back in the pack, but it's Graham in front from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor and Cunliffe. Really exciting racing in there. Guardside's in the mix as well. So this will be a really interesting challenge in the juniors as they have an absolutely cracking battle. Harry Graham in front of Callum Gunning as they race for position. They continue their scrap and Harry Graham goes well up towards the final turn. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Callum Gunning, who has definitely not slowed down any. Gunning might have an opportunity to come off a turn and go for the move into the S's. Morgan Cole's going to make the move on the inside of Lewis Berry further back, and he gets the place. So Morgan Cole has moved up into 10th position on Lewis Berry. So Morgan Cole gets through. It's Harry Graham leading, though, still from Callum Gunning. Gunning still in there. Little bit of a jostle of a position as Louis Ross moves to hold off Scott Huntley. He's still there in P4. This is great racing from Tom Harvey and Louis Ross in particular. 3rd and 4th place in their 2nd ever meeting as a junior. They're having an amazing run, having stepped up to cadets. This is great work from Harvey and Ross. Now, is there going to be a change of the lead? Because Gunning has pushed very hard there on the back of Graham. Tom Harvey's trying to make his way onto the lead lap as well. This is going to be amazing between these three up front. Harvey's gone with Graham and Gunning. They've lost a bit of momentum, and that's brought Louis Ross back into contention. It's still very close indeed between the leaders. Nicky Taylor's caught up to the back of Toby Baldry as well, so we could see a few good overtaking moves here. Then it's Cunliffe, guard side. Morgan Cole's got to the front of the chasing pack. Then it's Berry with Jack Rigg and Alicia Barmowski. Brierley, Reed, Ramlal, Stanton and Davison. Really good battle, this one in the juniors, as Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor, Cunliffe and Gartside are stretching out the advantage over the rest of the field. It's a 9-car train led by Harry Graham and Callum Gunning. Tom Harvey pushing on there in 3rd position. They come through the long right-hand sweep into the horseshoe. Graham still going well. Harvey close to the back of Callum Gunning, looking for his first opportune moment to strike and move up into the lead of this race if he can get an opportunity on Callum Gunning. Going well thus far. Really great racing from the juniors at this moment in time. And they are battling. They are pushing big time. Tom Harvey, fastest lap of the race. He is there in 3rd position for the moment. But Graham, Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor, Cunliffe and Gartside. That's your top 9 at the moment. Gartside trying to stay with them. Cunliffe is not far off the back of the leading 7. But what a great charge this is at the moment. Tom Davison's now caught up to the back of Vijay Ramlal and is trying to make the move as he makes his way forward. Alicia Barmowski's got past Jack Rigg, so she is going to be the lead rookie if things stay as they are. Morgan Cole out in front of his little battle. Alicia Barmowski 11th. Then it's Rigg, Berry, Reed, then Brierley. Great battles, great charge at the moment from the birelART juniors as they run in position. Harry Graham having a great run here at the lead of the race. Callum Gunning under pressure from Tom Harvey. Not a rookie, of course, because he raced in cadets last year, was the runner-up. Baldry makes the move on Huntley. So Toby Baldry gets through in a P5 on Scott Huntley. Nicky Taylor's got a chance to pounce out of the final turn as well. So Nicky Taylor's going to try and make that move his own as he comes off the turn. Nicky Taylor charging forward, trying to get a move there on the inside. Not quite close enough. Callum Gunning, fastest lap of the race, in 2nd position with 3 minutes plus 1 lap on the clock. But Harry Graham's got a bit of a lead now. Tom Harvey trying to make the move on Callum Gunning. Tom Harvey right there in 3rd position, trying to make his way forward. So it's Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Baldry, Huntley, Taylor, Cunliffe, Gartside. And then we've got the man in 10th position, Morgan Cole, being chased down by Alicia Barmowski. Then it's Dylan Reed, Brierley, Berry, Stanton, Davison. And then we've got Jack Rigg in there with Vijay Ramlal as they go through the first couple of corners. Gunning is still pushing hard. Toby Baldry, the new fastest lap of the race. But the top 3 are desperately trying to break clear of Louis Ross. Graham in the lead of this one, 2nd position. That is still Callum Gunning, who really seems to have stepped up the mark in 2018. Callum Gunning is threatening to be a championship contender. Tom Harvey in 3rd position, doing a great job. Louis Ross in P4 as they continue to scrap for position. P5 is Baldry, P6 is Huntley. Then it is Taylor and Cunliffe. Gartside not able to stay with them. Barmowski trying to make the move on Morgan Cole out of the final turn. So there's great racing further back as Dylan Brierley is now at the front of the queue, battling it out with Dylan Reed. And now that's Tom Davison trying to make his move on the inside there of the 81 of Connor Stanton. Can't quite make the move stick. But it's Graham from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Baldry, Huntley, Taylor and Cunliffe. Great racing there as Dylan Brierley shakes off Dylan Reed further back down the order. Now Dylan Reed gets his move on the inside as they go to the horseshoe. Great racing for Dylan Reed. But back at the front, it is still about Harry Graham as he battles with Callum Gunning, who's just set another new fastest lap of the race. So great racing in the mid-pack. Here they come through the S's. Great action. Harry Graham from Callum Gunning and Tom Harvey. They're in P3. Tom Harvey was excited about the prospect of being in the top 10. He's in P3 at the moment. What if he could pick up a podium in his second meeting as a junior? Really exciting racing here. Good racing and good battling as Alicia Parmowski makes a charge there on Morgan Cole. Has now got the Dylan Reed battle charging after her. So let's see what she can do to move to cover. Tom Harvey now the fastest lap of the race in third position. Alicia Parmowski challenging from Dylan Reed as they battle away for position in the battle for 10th place. But the leading three have broken clear now. Where's Louis Ross? Where's Louis Ross? He seems to have fallen from the fray. I'm not sure what's happened to Louis Ross, but he's not through anymore. In P4, there he is. There he is. Louis Ross has had enough at turn 1. Louis Ross recovers, but he's now at the back of the field. That is a real shame for Louis Ross. He was looking so good there, but has now come off the circuit. And with 2 laps to go, Louis Ross is not going to finish any higher than 18th in this race. That is a real shame. He had a great run there in the top 4, but it's all gone pear-shaped from his point of view. That's a real shame. And now the lead battle is kicking on a pace now, gunning all over the back of race leader Harry Graham. Tom Harvey in there in third place. So Callum Gunning is trying to make the move on Graham. Graham is resisting as much as he can. Tom Harvey is close. Here they come. They're going to go into the last lap this time. So it's now or never for Callum Gunning. And he knows it. He's going to try and make the move on the inside. Graham's going to try and hold him off. But Gunning is through. Gunning takes the lead. Graham in second place. Harvey in third. Callum Gunning makes the move stick. And now Tom Harvey's just sat in third position, watching to see what happens. Harry Graham's got a good chance to come back on Callum Gunning, who's defending like mad. Now can Harry Graham push past on the inside? He's going to come side by side. Graham's going to try and make the switch back to the inside line of the final turn. If he gets a good line off the turn, he has a chance to get there. But it's going to be Callum Gunning. Gunning wins the race. Gunning is there from Graham. And look at Alicia Parmowski in the back of the queue. She fends off from Dylan Reed and Berry. Berry's going to try and snatch the top rookie on her. Parmowski holds it to the outside line. Morgan Cole, it's going to be a drag race. And Parmowski's going to be the lead rookie home. Oh, what a race. What a race from the mid-pack as well as the front end. Callum Gunning wins it. Graham second. Thomas Harvey is third. That was sensational stuff yet again. Let's watch that move once more on the live stream as Gunning just kept the car stable, waited for Graham to move to the outside line and just stuck his cart on the inside. Great move, great racing. Graham trying to resist it, but Gunning through. And that's a fantastic bit of racing at the front end of the field. Callum Gunning wins once more in the birelART Juniors Brigade from Harry Graham and Tom Harvey. Scott Huntley in a valiant fourth place from Toby Baldry and Nicky Taylor. Sam is seventh place in front of Ben Gardside. Then it is Morgan Cole. Alicia Parmowski finishes as the lead rookie and in the top 10 as well. Then it is Lewis Berry from Tom Davison, who fought back majestically to 12th. Dylan Briley, Dylan Reed, Jack Rigg, Connor Stanton, Vijay Ramlal, and a very unlucky Louis Ross to come off there at the time he did. We've got the leading runners from the cadets up here to talk to in just a moment. But of course, we're going to have some great battles from them as they race away for position. But what a result this has been from the 1-2-5s. Coming up next, the juniors very, very close. But now we've got the super elites to talk about. And if they're going to be any better than the juniors, they're going to have to work very hard indeed. birelART Juniors next. It's been a really good day at the office and a great battle at the front between Harry Graham and Callum Gunning. Callum Gunning, for the 4th time out of 4, victorious after his fantastic form at Landau. It's a lot closer here at Clay Pigeon, but he left his very best till the very last lap. A great way to get the victory there into turn 2 on the final lap, and he has won a brilliant race as a result of that one. So really good battling, and now he puts himself into prime position for this pre-final, which could be the toughest race of the weekend from his point of view, defending that first position into turn 1. He's got to make good use of that formation lap or two, and then he will put himself in a good spot. Harry Graham there in second position alongside him, and he is chatting away there with Tom Harvey and his pit crew. Tom Harvey there in third position for his second race weekend in juniors. That is an absolutely amazing achievement. Straight out of cadet into juniors this year, and there's a 40cc difference in power and he's right there at the front end. Louis Ross should be there with him, of course, but he had a lot of bad luck towards the end of that race, and a real shame. He should have been in that mix, but hopefully Louis Ross can charge his way forward and get back into the top 6. With that kind of speed we know him to have, it will be a tough job, but he can do it. Scott Huntley is in there, along with Nicky Taylor and Sam Cunliffe, Ben Gartside, and Morgan Cole in the mix as well. So a lot of top drivers moving their way forward. Toby Baldry will start 9th after a post-race penalty, so he now goes 9th position. And alongside him is the lead rookie in this weekend thus far, Alicia Parmowski, although it very nearly wasn't, because Lewis Berry was literally about 4 millimeters behind her at the flag, so close to the victory in that little tussle. Tom Davison fought his way back as well in 12th position, and he will be there on the 6th row of the grid. Great to see that there's great banter and camaraderie between the two rookies at the front end of their battle. Parmowski and Berry, lots of thumbs up and good congratulations for great racing. That's one of the great things about this championship. As well as being great feisty racing and great competition, there is great sporting spirit. I like to talk about birelART UK Series by saying that this paddock really does put the sport in motorsport. It really is great stuff. Speaking of which, let's talk to the lead rookie from the cadets that we've just seen out on track. A much better run from the first race, but well, Craig Evans, a great race there, and that was such an epic battle with you, Hassan, and all the rest of it. That must have been pretty scary at times.
Yeah, at one point I had my front bumper right up behind Aiden, but yeah, it was a good battle, and I think the first lap definitely won me that top rookie spot, because I just got past most of the rookies that were in front of me, and all I had to do was just keep the pace and trying to get further up.
You weren't bothered about the rookies after that point. You were after Aiden Hassan's place like a fine-tooth comb. You really thought you could have him at one point. It was so close.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it. He just has the experience and the speed that I don't. But hopefully, maybe next year I could get it done on him.
Well, of course, there's one race to go, and anything can happen in that final. And it's looking likely that you'll be well inside the top 10 if you have another race like that one. Top rookie still on top for the moment?
Yeah, probably.
Well done, Craig. Good job.
Thanks.
Really, really good racing from Craig in that one, to be fair. You've just seen the Junior 100 pre-final grid there on your screens if you've been watching on the birelART UK Series Facebook page. It is going to be such an amazing race, this one. The pre-final tends to get a few more choice overtaking out there. Lots of people watching at home, including Stuart Brierley, who was watching the stream on that one. Well done, Oakley. Good luck to Dylan in the junior pre-final. Obviously, Dylan is going to be in this one, and he's tucked up in there behind Lewis Berry on the starting grid, the 101. You can tell it's Dylan Brierley, despite the fact that birelART livery car, because those very stereotypical Dylan Brierley flashes of light green are still there on the kart. They've personalised it very, very smartly there. It's always good to see the colour scheme of Dylan Brierley, and it's been maintained with that little hint of lime green in the junior brigade. He's lining up alongside Dylan Reed, who had so much bad luck in that one. He and Tom Davison compromised on that first lap, and they would have been fighting, I think, amongst the victors in that race had it not been for them falling back. They made some good recoveries, but there's a lot more time to make up from their point of view. Jack Rigg will want to move forward and get some more overtaking moves in there as well. Had a good scrap in there with Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal. So hopefully there'll be more great races from those guys. It is so tight in this junior paddock. You've got to be so impressed by what these guys can do when you consider that in qualifying they're all separated by under a second, and it is so close. And whoever makes the best of it on the day in the races is the one that's going to come through for the victory. But one guy who could be an interesting one to keep an eye on through the course of the day is the number 4, Nicky Taylor. He's there on the 3rd row of the grid. He was on the 4th row for the previous one. He started 7th. He's now 5th. If he makes the same kind of progress, he'll be 3rd on the grid for the final. And if he makes the same progress, he'll be on the top of the day. So I think that's kind of his plan, really, just to pick off 1 or 2, if he can, as the day progresses. And you never know. Nicky Taylor is another one of those drivers who's hoping to taste his first sweet taste of victory, and he'll be wanting to get the top spot. Callum Gunning and Harry Graham on the front row know all about winning in the birelART UK Series Juniors. They've both done it. They know how to get the job done. So let's see if they can continue on that sort of form. Harry Graham will want to take a victory out of this one. Callum Gunning got him last time. How will he cope with it this time? However, just behind them, they've got 2 very feisty drivers. Tom Harvey, who has taken to the junior category like a duck to water, and he is going very quickly considering he is a brand new driver to the juniors, straight out of cadets. And they're leaving his preparation, I have to say, till the last possible minute so that he can be ready. But Scott Huntley alongside him made great progress in that race to move his way forward to 4th. So good job. 5th on the road, of course. Unfortunately, it was Toby Baldry who was docked by a penalty. Completely not his fault from his point of view. So he will there be on the 5th row of the grid, just in behind Morgan Cole and alongside Alicia Barmowski. But considering how fast he was over 1 lap yesterday, Baldry is unlikely to finish as low as 9th in this race. So there's going to be some great overtaking in this one. And we've still seen a bit of a shuffle of the deck from the starting grid of the last race to the finish of this one. There's been a bit of a shuffle of the deck in the top 10 quite considerably, with a few drivers going down, a few drivers going up. So we should hopefully see another race like that one. And one man who's got some support from home, Andrew Murray, keeping an eye on Louis Ross to fight his way back through the field. I'm sure he will, the kind of pace he's shown this weekend. He was as fast, if not slightly off, and I'm talking like 100th or so of a second away from Tom Harvey's initial pace. Don't forget, he started on the 2nd row of that earlier race alongside Tom Harvey, so he can get back up to the top 5. All he needs to do is just keep that self-belief and that faith sky high, and he'll just pick them off one by one. It is a tough race, though, and it is a tough challenge. Andy Cox just talking with our pit gate marshal at the front end of the pit lane, and as the time ticks down, we will be ready to send them off for what I think is going to be standardly a 2-lap formation, because it seems to have been that way for pretty much all of the classes thus far. I think it will remain a 2-lap formation throughout. The drivers will get themselves underway. They have to keep their tyres and their brakes under temperature. They don't want to do too much work on them because the temperature here is already quite high. And we've already mentioned the fact that with the air temperature being about 22, 23 degrees, the circuit temperature is going to be about 4 to 5 degrees more than that. So that's going to melt the tyres big style. All of their hard work yesterday in the practice session will now come to fruition here today. All of the work they've done with tyres is going to really show. And you'll see the drivers who have been very, very sensible, maybe not necessarily gone as fast as they could have gone yesterday, but have worked a lot on tyres. And I have to say, a lot of Callum Gunning's weekend is now starting to make a lot of sense. Wasn't as fast yesterday, but I tell you what, the work they did with tyres, that's where they're now at the front of the field. So it seems as though now there's going to be a really interesting swing between these drivers in the top 10. The pit gate green flag goes, and we're going out on circuit. Here we go. And Harry Graham very nearly struggles to get out of the pits, but now they are getting out onto the circuit. Clay Pigeon, always entertaining in the birelART UK series, and we were always in for a tough battle. We're going to get another one of those here in the junior pre-final, with Callum Gunning and Harry Graham on that front row of the grid. They'll go around for 2 formation laps before we go racing here. And there's so many battles within battles here. Everybody trying to take a victory off Callum Gunning. He has won 4 from 4 thus far. Well, will he be able to do it again here at Clay Pigeon to make it 5 from 5? There's going to be a second rolling lap, I think, as the drivers are getting themselves into position. They will go round a second time, says Andy Cox on the straight. So they'll go around once more. And that is to give Louis Ross a bit of a chance to keep up with the junior brigade. This is such an interesting battle in 2018 because we still don't really know who's got the ultimate pace, because Callum Gunning has been close and has won the early race. But can he sustain it throughout the entirety of the season? I think this is the weekend when we'll really know. But Harry Graham, alongside him on that front row, he'll want a clean start. He'll want a really strong start. Tom Harvey and Scott Huntley together on the front row, or the second row of the grid. Then it is Nicky Taylor and Sam Cunliffe. And as the drivers are now on their rolling laps, they will get the rows neat and tidy. That is as perfect and clean a start as you're ever going to get. And now the drivers will get themselves up to speed as they come off the final turn. The engine revs rise, and we'll get ready to go racing here at Clay Pigeon. And it is go! Away we go racing, and it is a cracking getaway from the front. Is that going to be Graham into the lead initially? Yes, it is. So Harry Graham takes the early days from Gunning. It's very close further back as everybody jostles for position in the S's, and it looks to me as though that is a very strong start. But Graham is the early leader, Gunning second, and Nicky Taylor's in third position. What a start from Taylor. That is amazing. Up in a P3 already. Well, he's off like a rocket. Nicky Taylor to P3. Fourth position, Scott Huntley. Right in there is Tom Harvey. Then it is that is Gartside, sorry. Then it is Cunliffe, Morgan Cole, Baldry, Berry. Then it is Davison in front of Parmowski. So what a start to the race this has been from the man in the lead of it. Oh, that's a bit of a moment from BJ Ramlau. Louis Ross goes right round the outside at turn 2 and gets the place. Great overtake from Louis Ross. He is charging forward. But it's Harry Graham who leads, gunning second. Nicky Taylor in third position. Fourth place, Scott Huntley. Fifth is Tom Harvey. Then it is Ben Gartside. A great start for him. Sam Cunliffe in seventh. Eighth is Morgan Cole. Baldry ninth. Berry 10th. Davison, Reed, Parmowski, Briley, Rigg, Ross, Stanton and Ramlau. This is going to be a really interesting battle as Nicky Taylor holds on in front of Scott Huntley through the S's. Looking to build on this. He doesn't need to finish higher than this for the moment. Third position is exactly where he wants to be. A top 3 would be great going into the final. If he can get another cracking start, he can control the pace of the race later. But we still haven't even got into the business phase of the race yet. So Nicky Taylor being there in third position is a great start. Graham is your leader. Gunning second. Here comes Huntley alongside Nicky Taylor. Taylor holds him off. Tom Harvey in fifth. Sixth is Sam Cunliffe now. So Cunliffe's made the move. Gartside is seventh. Baldry's up to eighth past Morgan Cole. Davison 10th ahead of Dylan Reed and Lewis Berry, who is now edged back into Alicia Parmowski. The rookies' battle continues. So, magnificent racing up front as Callum Gunning decides to work with Harry Graham yet again to stretch out the advantage. But Harry Graham knows now that Callum Gunning's big trick is that move into turn 2 on the last lap, so he will not be ready to give him a place again. Tom Harvey, meanwhile, is caught right up to the back of Scott Huntley. So Tom Harvey's having a great run, and he finds himself in a good position to try and challenge for fourth place. Nicky Taylor hangs on to third, Huntley fourth, fifth is Tom Harvey. Great racing between those three, and I think they're going to need to work together if they want to win this one. Sixth is Cunliffe. He's got a challenge from Ben Gartside and Toby Baldry. The juniors having a great race. Morgan Cole is ninth. Tom Davison's up to 10th, and Baldry makes the move on Gartside. So Baldry makes the move there, up into 7th place on Ben Gartside, and that puts him up a position. So it's Graham and Gunning, Taylor, Huntley, Harvey, Cunliffe, then Baldry and Gartside, Morgan Cole and Tom Davison. Fantastic racing thus far here at Clay Pigeon for the juniors as they run out in the lead. Harry Graham and Callum Gunning. The race is on between these two. The leading seed versus the championship leader. Nicky Taylor right in there in third position. That's not a bad place to be right now. Fourth place, that's Huntley, then Tom Harvey, Cunliffe. A really good run from Baldry. Gartside's in there, then it's Cole, Davison and Reed. They're having a great scrap. Davison looking to go for the move on Morgan Cole. Hasn't quite got the gusto to get there yet. Dylan Reed's right behind. Then we've got Berry and Parmowski. Here comes Louis Ross. Louis Ross is on a real charge. Right round the outside of Alicia Parmowski. Can he hold that to the inside line? We'll double check as they come through, but I think Louis Ross had Parmowski round the outside of turn 1 and knitted his way through. Yes, he did. What a move from Louis Ross. Absolutely terrific. So Louis Ross is on the charge forward. That puts him up to 13th place. So a good run this from Louis Ross. Then it's Parmowski, Dylan Briley, Jack Rigg, Connor Stanton, and BJ Ramlau struggling for pace at the moment. There's definitely some kind of mechanical problem for BJ Ramlau. He's never usually this far back off the pace, and he was within a second in qualifying, so I have a feeling that there's a technical problem for Ramlau, keeping him from the top of his game. We've got Graham and Gunning still battling away. Callum Gunning is so good at this, just running in second place, waiting for his moment to pounce. He's really good at reading the races. Taylor's doing a grand job there in third position, actually. Nicky Taylor keeping on to this in third place, and he's got a lot of challenge from Huntley and Harvey, but there in third position, he's still got good pace. Baldry has Cunliffe now right behind him, so Baldry's made the move for 6th. Cunliffe in 7th from Gartside. Then it's Morgan Cole, Tom Davison, Dylan Reed from Berry, Ross, Parmowski, Briley, Rigg, Stanton and Ramlau. Terrific scraps in the field. We've got the third place scrap going on. Parmowski's at the head of a bit of a train with Louis Ross only a couple of cart lengths in front of her. And Lewis Berry has fallen back, so Parmowski has got into the leading rookie position once more. Really good stuff. So Parmowski versus Berry, this is going to be their rivalry all season long. It's going to be an amiable rivalry, but a great battle as Morgan Cole hangs on in front of Dylan Reed there through turn 1. That was very close. Callum Gunning sets a new personal best. It's not the fastest lap of the race, but it is a new personal best. Absolutely terrific stuff right now. Nicky Taylor still hangs on to third place. Parmowski's got a bit of distance between herself and Berry in the rookie battle. And then behind them, we've got Jack Rigg going wheel to wheel with Dylan Brierley and Connor Stanton. So great races and great battles wherever you look in the field. Still Ben Gartside chasing down Sam Cunliffe on the main straight. We've got Cole, Reed and now Davison battling away for, that's going to be 8th place. So those 3 drivers in the top 10. Cole, Dylan Reed and Tom Davison, you're watching them on the stream. Great racing as Morgan Cole hangs on in there, but Dylan Reed is giving him a lot of pressure. Here comes Reed. Morgan Cole defends beautifully, and Tom Davison dives in there, pounces for the move, and gets 9th place. What a move from Davison. Now Reed's going to come back on the inside, gets the place back, up in a P9 once more. Oh, magnificent racing. Every time there's an overtake, they come straight back for the retaliation. Gunning, another new personal best in 2nd place, trying to chip away at Graham's advantage. 3rd place, still Taylor, Huntley, and Harvey is in there in P5 still, the 1-2-4. He's ready to pounce, but catching them all is Toby Baldry. Baldry's catching them all, so there could still be a chance at 3rd place for Baldry. He's right in there. Taylor, Huntley, Harvey, Baldry. 4 of them now going for 3rd position. Great racing this is, as they continue to charge forward. Cunliffe is hanging on in there in front of Gartside as well. Battling away for position. Morgan Cole's got Dylan Reed and Tom Davison scrapping away too. This is one heck of a fight as they now race for 9th place. Cole, Reed and Davison. Nicky Taylor hangs on to 3rd in front of Hartley, Harvey and Baldry. Baldry looks feisty here. He does not want to settle for 6th place. He's worked his way up from 9th and now he's there. Nicky Taylor trying to get away from Huntley as Baldry makes the move on Harvey and gets there for P5. So Baldry in a P5. Graham is still pushing very hard to try and stay ahead of Callum Gunning. 2 minutes and 15 plus a lap. Nicky Taylor, Huntley 4th. Then it's Harvey. Then it's Baldry. Then it's Harvey. Sam Cunliffe has just set a personal best in 7th place ahead of Ben Gartside. 9th position. That is that's Morgan Cole. Then Dylan Reed. And then it is Tom Davison. But those 3 are having a terrific scrap. 12th is now Louis Ross. Great fight back from Ross as he now puts himself in P12. Then it is the rookie battle, Alicia Parmowski versus Lewis Berry. Then we've got Jack Rigg, Dylan Brierley, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal. Still the battle rages at the front end of the field as they try and chip away at each other's advantages. 3rd place is the battle to watch right now because that's Toby Baldry on the back of Scott Huntley for P4, trying to keep up with Nicky Taylor. This is a good run from Baldry. He may get a chance here on Huntley. Huntley trying to close up on Nicky Taylor as they go into the long hairpins. Through the right, up to the horseshoe, through the left. And there goes Baldry on the inside for P4. Baldry's there in 4th. Great fight back this from Baldry. And now Dylan Reed's made the move on Morgan Cole for 9th place, sorry. Great driving. And Nicky Taylor there in 3rd position, still getting away. This is going to be enough for Nicky Taylor to hang on to 3rd place. Personal best from Graham. Personal best from Nicky Taylor. They are pushing hard. And now Callum Gunning is on the back of Harry Graham. Now this is going to be important because they're closing up on Vijay Ramlal to lap him. Blue flags will come out, but is there going to be a chance for Gunning to close up on Graham? Has he been looking after the tyres better than Harry Graham? Here he comes. Graham gets through. Is the door going to be left open? Yes, it is. Callum Gunning impeded by about 1/10 of a second. But now Harry Graham has got him on the tail. 30 seconds to go. That's 1 lap plus 1 more. Dylan Reed has now got Morgan Cole and Tom Davison being chased by Louis Ross. Davison's trying to come the long way round. Sam Cunliffe sets a new personal best. So does Cole. So does Louis Ross. Berry and Rigg likewise. They're going to race all the way to the death here. And Nicky Taylor has got back past Toby Baldry after Baldry move. Taylor's in 3rd once. And there's a great scrap between Davison and Ross. Ross gets past Tom Davison. Good move there. Lewis Berry's closing back up on Alicia Parmowski. And here comes Gunning. Last lap. Will Gunning make the same move? No. Harry Graham holds him up. He's going to try and cut back across. Gunning's going to do it again. Gunning's there on the inside and gets back through into the lead. Gunning retakes the lead once more. Just cannot keep him back. For the 2nd in a row, Gunning has made the move on Graham. Now Graham's going to make the fight back. Is Gunning going to be able to have it in there? Graham's going to try one more time into the final turn. Can Graham go for the move? Gunning's going to keep it honest. Graham will try and get the switch back, but it's too late. Callum Gunning's got him again. What a victory. Gunning beats Graham yet again. Nicky Taylor third. Baldry fourth from Huntley, Harvey, Cunliffe and Gardside. Oh, what a sweep over the line. It's Reed in ninth place. Louis Ross fights back to 10th. Louis Ross in 10th place at the finish. What an end to his race. Cole is 11th. Davison is 12th. Parmowski is the lead rookie again in 13th from Berry. Then Rigg, Briley, Stanton and Ramler. I've got no breath left. How does Callum Gunning find that move every single time? Absolutely amazing how he does it. Callum Gunning has done it again. That makes it 5 from 5 for Callum Gunning, and he leaves it till the last lap every single time. Graham had him defended in the first part of the apex. In the second part, Gunning had it nailed. What a race again. The birelART Juniors are so good at this. And Callum Gunning makes it 5 in a row. You'd think that with one driver winning 5 races out of 5, it would be boring. No way. No way, Jose. Graham is only .057 back at the flag. Gunning in his A game is so hard to beat. Third is Nicky Taylor. What a fight back from Nicky Taylor. He'll start on the second row for the final. Toby Baldry, a great fight back to fourth from Scott Huntley and Tom Harvey. Sam Cunliffe is in seventh from Gartside. Dylan Reed and the fight back king, Louis Ross, back to 10th from the back of the grid. Then it's Morgan Cole, Tom Davison, Alicia Parmowski, the top rookie ahead of Lewis Berry. And then it is Jack Rigg, Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal. Superb racing again from the birelART Juniors. They always put on a show. But if they're going to give us great entertainment, you want to stick around because the 1-2-5 Super Elites are going to try and outdo them. Tension building here at Clay Pigeon Raceway for the final race of the weekend for the birelART Junior 100 class. This has been such a tough battle to call. At the front of the field, it's the same two, Callum Gunning and Harry Graham, who have battled for the victories on both occasions in the heat and pre-final, with Harry Graham leading the way throughout until Callum Gunning pops up. He's only led 2 laps all weekend, would you believe? But crucially, they are the last laps. That's the only lap you need to lead. So great work there from Callum Gunning to put himself into the top spot on 2 occasions now this weekend. If he gets the hat-trick, well, that's a double hat-trick. Not many people do that the first 2 rounds of the season. However, Harry Graham knows how tough it is to beat him. He knows how difficult it will be, but they've both got to keep an eye on the fastest starter in the business, and that is Nicky Taylor. 3rd position, started 7th in race 1, got it up to 5th, started 5th in race 2, got it up to 3rd. If he keeps up that trend, then neither Gunning or Graham will see which way he went. He's got to be very careful on that first couple of corners. Alongside him on the starting grid, though, he's going to have a bit of a challenge as well there from that second row of the grid, and that's going to come from Toby Baldry. He's got his own machinations on the victory. He will want to get this one done fairly straightforward into the first corners of the race, up into a strong position, but it's always going to be tough. Behind them, the cavalry is very close. Scott Huntley leads the charge on the 3rd row of the grid. Alongside him, one of the surprises of the season, the most pleasant surprises of the season, young Tom Harvey, runner-up in the cadets last year, and now in the top 6 on merit in juniors in his 2nd weekend in the championship. Really exciting to see. The E-plate from last year, Sam Cunliffe, finds himself on the 4th row of the grid on that inside line for turn 2. If he can hold it round the outside, he will have a tough job of it because he's got Ben Gartside to his right, to his left, sorry. So Gartside is going to be there on the inside line for turn 1, and it's great to see Ben Gartside really kick it up a gear this weekend. He's been particularly impressive over the course of practice yesterday and the races today. Great to see him in a great form in the dry. He seems to go well in the wet, but he's really good here in the dry here at Clay. And when it's so close, to be up in that position, it's no joke. Really, really good work from him. On the 5th row of the grid, we've got Dylan Reed and Louis Ross. Dylan Reed fighting very hard indeed there for a good comeback after a bit of a squabble on the opening lap of his first race. To fight back to the top 10 is really impressive. Louis Ross, though, his comeback drive in that one was absolutely monstrous. From the back of the grid up into the top 10. Proof that this is no fluke. He will fight his way forward and be at the top end of the dais by the end of the season. I can see Louis Ross with his current pace here at Clay Pigeon. If he continues it on through the season, he can get podium after podium after podium by the end of this season if he keeps up that form. Morgan Cole is in there on the outskirts of the top 10. His fight back has been pretty good to see as well, up into 11th position, fighting his way forward. He can continue that pace if he just keeps up the faith. Tom Davison alongside him, though, on the grid is going to want to charge forward and make up a few more places, having initially been towards that top 6 from the first race. But when he and Dylan Reed fell off, they started their charge through the field, and now up to 12th position for Davison. He just needs to keep it up. He's still going well. Then comes the epic rookie battle on the 13th and 14th places on the grid. Alicia Parmowski versus Lewis Berry. They've been at each other's throats all weekend, and Alicia Parmowski managed to get it by 4 centimetres in the first race, 0.4 of a second in the second, so it's very close indeed between them two, and they will continue to charge all the way to the finish. Just in behind them, we've got Jack Rigg, who is battling away there with Dylan Brierley, another cadet making the jump up to juniors this weekend, in fact, and doing a very good job of it as he makes the progress further forward. And then, of course, the other two in connection are Connor Stanton, moving up to juniors after a year away from the birelART UK Series. Last competed as a cadet and has adapted to the junior kart very well thus far. And alongside him on the grid is Vijay Ramlal, who had a very difficult race in the last one with mechanical problems. He is never usually that far back in the race. You've only got to look at it from the qualifying point of view to know he's inside that pole position time within a second, so there's no reason why Ramlal should be that far back on pace. He is a much faster driver than that, and hopefully in the final he will do so on paper as well as on the clock. So this is going to be an interesting race. How about that? From the front to the back, they are covered by less than a second. That is the Junior Brigade in 2018 in the birelART Junior Paddock, and they are fantastic drivers to watch. The battle is always incredibly close, and the racing is set to be very tight right to the dais. So how many laps will Callum Gunning have led by the end of this weekend? As far as he's concerned, it's only going to be 3. But let's see how many it turns out to be at the end of the dais. Harry Graham would like to leave all of the laps, this one, to the front end of the field. He doesn't want that man behind him, Nicky Taylor, getting a sniff of victory. But it's going to be a tough one. Those 3 drivers, for my money, are the ones battling for the victory. And it could be any one of those 3. It's very close indeed. However, there are 6 drivers sat behind those 3 who will have something to say about that, particularly Toby Baldry, who has fought his way back from 4th on the road, to 9th, and then back to 4th. If he can keep up that kind of pace, he could charge past all 3 of them. Scott Huntley is always incredibly consistent. If he has that kind of pace in the final, he could be a race winner. And nobody is quite sure just how far Tom Harvey can take this early season pace, because he's there in the top 6. He's there on merit. He deserves to be there. He's shown incredible adaptation from a cadet to junior, and he's surprised a lot of people, pleasantly surprised to see him do so well so soon. But can he keep it up in the final? And more importantly, could it end up coming home with some silverware? We'll see. There's plenty of racing to be done. It's a long race, this one, 14 minutes plus 1 lap, and there's an awful lot to go. So there's a lot of people watching from all over the corners of the globe. We've got people in North America watching all the way from Toronto. The Valverdes giving a big up to Alicia Parmowski on the grid as they hope that she will once again make it a hat-trick in the rookies dais. And there's going to be some great action for all the drivers out there. A congratulations has come in to Nathan Ty from Nana and Grandad. Chicken very, very proud. That's Joy Spur messaging, and hopefully we'll get a quick word with Nathan Ty before the day is out, who's probably still hopping up and down in the pits after what has been an absolutely incredible drive. I think that might be his best yet to hold off the attentions of the drivers right behind him, Oakley, Keatley and Ellis. That was a very, very tough battle. And also, a good luck everyone has come in from one of the drivers who should be on this starting grid. Joe Sheppy is watching from back home. Hopefully he'll be back in the pack again in time for Fullbeck. But obviously there are a few drivers missing this weekend due to exam season. We're missing Joe Sheppy. We're missing George Whitehouse, of course, who should be in this field. But some of them have obviously got an awful lot of stuff going on. So we'll see how the drivers crack on into this weekend. And once we get our drivers back, going into the next round of the championship at Fullbeck, it's going to be really interesting. It's actually a very busy part of the season, this, because we've got this weekend here at Clay Pigeon, then 2 weeks' time we go to Fullbeck, then 2 weeks after that we go to Wilton Mill. It's a 4-week tour for the birelART UK Series paddock. Dorset this week, Lincolnshire next week, and then 2 weeks later, I should say, and then 2 weeks after that, it's going to go back to Northamptonshire. So it's going to be a really interesting battle for the next 4 weeks of the birelART UK Series paddock. Another good lot comes in from Pat Ross. Give it your best, Louis. I know he will. He's up there in the top 10, and it's going to be a really, really strong run from Louis there in 10th position on the grid. Plenty to go for, and if he makes up as many places as he did in the last race, he'll be on the podium. That's a mathematical fact. So, how much is this race going to depend on the start? It's going to be very steely nerves down to the first corner. Gunning and Graham will be absolutely matching each other to the millimetre down that home straight. But when it's gung-ho, who's got the mettle and the might to go through in that first corner? Will the inside line be the best place to go, or will it be the steely nerves around the outside to hold on to position? It's happened twice now that we've seen Graham hold on to the lead in the first part of the lap, and then we've seen Gunning have it lost away from him on that first corner as well in the previous final. So now we go into the main final itself, and it's not very clear as to how things are going to work out. And then, of course, there's that factor on the second row of the grid. Janet Napper writes in, so proud of you, Nikki Taylor. That's Nan and Grandad there rooting for Nikki on the second row of the grid. This one will be very interesting to observe. The junior final is always one of the most action-packed races of the weekend, but this time, even more so, it's very open indeed. And despite the apparent domination on paper of Callum Gunning, it has never quite been as easy as that. As we've already mentioned, in this entire weekend, Callum Gunning has been first only twice, and that is for the only 2 laps he has led. Crucially, though, they have been the final laps of the races. So he knows how to leave the very best he's got till the very end, and that means that he could be in for a very, very interesting fight. The longest race of all and the hottest part of the day. That means that it's going to be very, very tough in terms of tyre lamination. This is where it's really going to count. All the hard work of yesterday, all the drills, all of the testing runs. The whistle goes, the green flag flies, it's time to race. This is the moment they've all been waiting for. The build-up is over, and it's time to go racing here at Clay Pigeon Raceway. 30 years, 3 decades since a very young Jenson Button turned his first wheel around this racetrack, and he didn't turn out too badly. So here is the grid for the Junior 100 final, as we've mentioned a few times already. That front row of the grid taken up by Callum Gunning, who's won every race thus far this year, and Harry Graham, who has been on pole position a couple of times already. Then we've got Nikki Taylor up to 3rd position, Toby Baldry alongside him on that second row of the grid. Scott Huntley and Thomas Harvey, then Sam Cunliffe in there in 7th place alongside him, Ben Gartside. And then, of course, in there in the mix as well, we've also got the battle between the 9th and 10th place drivers, Dylan Reed and Louis Ross. They're starting to form up as they go head to the hairpin now. But along with Dylan Reed and Louis Ross in the mix, we've also got a bit of a scrap going on behind them, because we've got Morgan Cole in there alongside with Tom Davison. Then we have Alicia Parmowski and Lewis Berry, the battle of the rookies. Then it's Jack Rigg, Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal. Time for the Junior 100 final to get underway in the birelART Juniors 100. We are going to get some great racing out of this. And the battle will be close, it will be tense, it will be tight. Let's see who's going to win. Off the start, oh, there's a problem for Toby Baldry. Toby Baldry's had a problem at the start. I don't believe it. Toby Baldry's got a mechanical problem. So, have we got underway? Have we started or are we not? Well, the lights are not out on the top of the starting grid, but the time is starting to tick down. So I'm not sure if we're racing or not. I think we're going to go round again, but Toby Baldry appears to be out of the race. This is an absolute disaster. Oh, Baldry has got himself back going again. So whatever it was, a temporary issue, but he's got to get himself back in a position quickly. So can Toby Baldry get himself back into place with enough time to get the race started? Well, that is about as close to an emergency start as possible. He's not going to be able to get there. Now that's going to be a real problem. They're going to go round one more time. Well, I tell you what, That is Toby Baldry's most valuable get-out-of-jail-free card he's ever going to play. That is absolutely amazing. We thought his race was over then, but for the 4th formation lap, Toby Baldry will have time to put himself back onto the 2nd row of the grid. And there he is, he's made it. Phew is the only word that can describe that. Goodness me, Toby Baldry. I think his heart has beaten a few more times more than he expected to over the course of that one. So they are now back into position. And now what was already very tense is now very, very tense as the drivers get themselves ready for position. So now let's see how this is going to go. Out of the final turn, we are ready for the race to get underway, and this time it's going to be a really good charge as away we go. And it's Harry Graham taking the first initial punt. Is Callum Gunning going to take the lead in the first corner? There's a little bit of a jostle. Nicky Taylor's lost a couple of places, but it's Graham who leads. Gunning in second, Baldry's third. Baldry's up to third in front of Nicky Taylor. What a comeback from Toby Baldry. This is a great run as Morgan Cole makes a nice move up the inside of Ben Gart's side and gets the place. Alicia Palmowski in there with Lewis Berry. The bird has gone already, and she's up into the leading rookie position. Alongside Berry cuts back. Harry Graham's got a good lead over Gunning. Toby Baldry in third position. Then it's Taylor, Huntley, Louis Ross. How has Louis Ross got up to 6th position? What a start from Louis Ross. He's up 4 places on the first lap. And Louis Ross now finds himself in P6. That is astonishing work. Sam Cunliffe looks like he's made up a place or two on that lap. Great racing. Now Cunliffe's going to make another place. He's gone past Ross. He's gone past Huntley. No, Ross has gone past Huntley, and now Cunliffe's got through as well. So Louis Ross is up to 5th. Cunliffe is up to 6th. Great battles. So now it's Graham, Gunning, Baldry, Taylor, Louis Ross, then Sam Cunliffe. Huntley's got Tom Harvey and Dylan Reed to battle with. Morgan Cole in 10th. Then it looks to me like that is Lewis Berry in front of Guardside, Briley, Palmowski, Rigg, Davison, Stanton and Ramlau. Gunning has now got some superior challenge from Toby Baldry. Now if Baldry can go through in a second, this race is wide open. He has a look. Gunning's out wide. Baldry's going to try and get there. Gunning fights back and gets the position. But Graham is away clear in the lead. Now Baldry and Taylor are going to scrap away for second place with Callum Gunning. Surely now Harry Graham has got a massive lead that cannot be extinguished. But Toby Baldry is going to try and attack Callum Gunning out through the S's. Into the left, into the right. Now they're going to come up the order. This is a great battle. And that's a place made up on Sam Cunliffe. Cunliffe's lost 2 places. 1 to Huntley, 1 to Dylan Reed. Dylan Reed is charging forward, and Morgan Cole is closing up on the battle too now. He's got really good pace. Tom Davison is really struggling for pace. But Graham leads from Gunning, Baldry and Nicky Taylor. Looks like some good challenges later on. That's Ben Gartside trying to come around the outside of Lewis Berry. Tom Harvey set a personal best that time. So did Baldry, so did Taylor. Graham is your leader though. Harry Graham hanging on to the lead. But don't forget, Callum Gunning has only led 2 laps this weekend, but crucially, they were the last laps. He's still got time. He's got 11 minutes plus 1 lap to go. So, brilliant stuff, an amazing battle, and some absolutely terrific racing thus far as they battle away for position. But Graham is your leader. Gunning in second, Baldry third, Taylor, Ross, Huntley, Reed, Cunliffe, Harvey and Cole. That's your top 10 at the moment. Graham is holding a good lead, but Callum Gunning has not given up. He's got plenty of time to catch him, and he knows that he's got a long way to go in this race. Harry Graham continues to hold the lead. Baldry and Taylor are very close this time. 5th position is Louis Ross. How on earth has he gone from 10 to 5th in 2 laps? That is brilliant. 6th place is Huntley, 7th is Reed, then it's Cunliffe, Harvey, Cole, Guardside, Briley, Berry, Palmowski. And then we've got Rigg battling away with Tom Davison. And then Stanton and Ramlau. Here's the battle between Huntley, Reed, Cunliffe and Tom Harvey. They're having a good scrap for 6th position. Nobody really going for the overtaking of the hairpin this time by. The race is long here at Clay Pigeon on this very short circuit. They've got to be very careful how they pace the tyres, and they will continue to scrap all the way through. But a really exciting race this has turned out to be, and it's just going to keep getting better from here on in. So as the racing continues to intensify, they will continue on the far side of the circuit. Harry Graham is being caught by Gunning and Baldry. They are catching him. So Harry Graham's victory is definitely not sorted yet as they continue to battle away for position. Really great racing as they continue to fight. So Harry Graham leads the way. Gunning in second, Baldry third. Fourth position is Nicky Taylor. Baldry is pushing Gunning further up the order. What was a massive gap is now very little time at all. Dylan Reid is now at the front of this queue. Scott Huntley is right in there, battling away with Sam Cunliffe and Tom Harvey. Tom Harvey's gone through and Huntley's got his arm in the air. Looks like Tom Harvey's got past both of them. So Cunliffe has lost the place and so too has Scott Huntley. Looks like Tom Harvey's got past them both. Onto the back of Dylan Reid now. Well, it is now a three-way scrap for the victory. Harry Graham, Callum Gunning and Toby Baldry having a race for the win now. Toby Baldry in third position, still going well. Racing continues here. 8.5 minutes into the battle. But Graham is your leader. Gunning in second from Baldry, Taylor, Ross, Reid, Harvey, Cunliffe, Huntley and Morgan Cole. 11th place at the moment is Guardside, then it's Dylan Briley. Lewis Berry's in front of Alicia Palmowski, and that is a move. Toby Baldry trying to go on the inside of Gunning, they bang wheels, and somehow they get away with it. My goodness, that got close. Callum Gunning absolutely determined, and now there's a big gap between Gunning and Graham once again. Graham is your leader, 0.6 of a second clear. Gunning in second, Baldry, Taylor, very close together in third and fourth. Louis Ross is fifth. If they keep, Louis Ross could get the podium after all. He is catching them. Louis Ross has got great pace here and he's closing up on the top four. Sixth place is Reid, then it's Tom Harvey, Cunliffe, Huntley and Guardside. Morgan Cole is looking at the top 10. Guardside is there, Briley is 12th, then it's Berry, Rigg, and Palmowski has dropped back behind Tom Davison now, ahead of Connor Stanton. And then we've got Vijay Ramlal still struggling with mechanical problems. Harry Graham leads the way. Second place is Callum Gunning. Toby Baldry and Nicky Taylor are closing them down. So Graham's lead is still very hard to hold on to. Gunning and Baldry have got it down again. So Callum Gunning just wants to sit in second place and snatch the victory on the last lap as he's done in the previous two races. Can he do it again? Nicky Taylor pushing hard. They've got to be careful. They don't want to pick up a penalty for track limits on that far side as the drivers continue to race. Oh, and something's come off one of the carts down the main straight. Something's come off somebody on the main straight. It's the chain guard. It's Tom Davison. Tom Davison's lost his chain guard as Tom Harvey makes the move on Dylan Reid, but Tom Davison has lost his chain guard. Now surely that is game over for Tom Davison. With the chain guard having come off the cart, I think it's game over for Tom Davison. That is a real shame. So I think his race is over. He's already pulled off. So Tom Davison is out. That is such a shame. He had a really good start to the weekend in terms of his practice time. Tom Davison, there he is, out of the cart and out of the race. Wow, poor Tom Davison. This has been a nightmare weekend for him again. Back to the leaders. Gunning is right on the back of Harry Graham. Now, has he got a new tactic? Because Toby Baldry has gone with him, and they are getting away from Nicky Taylor. So are these three going to continue to charge forward? Great racing and great battles as they continue to push further forward. But the race battle is very close indeed. Some great challenges further back as we've got Ben Gartside, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley and Lewis Berry and Jack Rigg all battling away. But the three leaders are now starting to pull away from Nicky Taylor, Harry Graham, Callum Gunning and Toby Baldry. And for my money, any one of these three could get the victory. Because if Graham resists Callum Gunning, then Toby Baldry can go for the overtaking move and get the victory off both of them. There's a long way to go still, 5 minutes plus 1 lap. They've got to look after tyres, they've got to look after brakes. Graham leads. New personal best in the lead. Callum Gunning second. Toby Baldry third. Baldry looks like he's stepping up the attack. Here comes Baldry on the inside of Gunning at the hairpin. Gunning is not letting him come through. Baldry tries again. Gunning defends. Baldry is going to come back. So yet again, Callum Gunning has got to make up a massive deficit to Harry Graham. If they work together, they'll do it. But Toby Baldry has once again got to try and go for Callum Gunning. He's going to try and come through for second place this time. But Callum Gunning and Toby Baldry having a very good battle at the moment. So Toby Baldry tries again on Callum Gunning. They're trying to get closer to Harry Graham once more. But Callum Gunning is absolutely resilient. He will not let Toby Baldry come by. So Toby Baldry trying to get himself in a second place, or at least get on terms with Harry Graham up front. Graham still knitting the eye of the needle perfectly out in front. Still right behind, we've got Gunning and Baldry closing up. New fastest lap of the race from Gunning. New personal best of the race from Toby Baldry. They are charging after Harry Graham. So Gunning's got a bit of work to do. So too has Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor trying to catch them. This is such an intense battle for the lead of this race. There's good fights further back though, because Ross is in 5th place. 6th, that looks to me like Tom Harvey, closing up on his rival from last year. And as they continue to battle away, it's going to be a really interesting move. So Graham, Gunn, Baldry, Taylor, Ross, Harvey, Cunliffe, Reed, Huntley and Gartside. Fastest lap of the entire race from Tom Harvey. So Harvey is the man on the move, closing up on Louis Ross. Here come the leaders. Harry Graham in front of Callum Gunning and Toby Baldry. They battle away for position. Nicky Taylor there in P4. Oh, mistake from Baldry. That was a big mistake from Toby Baldry, and that has dropped him off the back of Callum Gunning. So now that looks to me like it could be a 2-horse race. So with Callum Gunning and Harry Graham out on their own, this is an absolute rerun of the heat and the pre-final. Toby Baldry's dropped back to over a second back. He's now got to do qualifying laps to close up. Nicky Taylor's there in 4th position. But I think this is now Graham versus Gunning once again. And surely now Harry Graham's got to put out something special to get the final victory. Callum Gunning is going to beat him if he gets there. Gets a move on the outside line. He's so quick in this part of the course. He's reeling in. Harry Graham trying to go for the move. Baldry's not close enough. Taylor in 4th. Louis Ross is trying to gesture to Tom Harvey. Let's go get them up front. Toby Baldry sets a new personal best in his effort to close up on the guys in front. Morgan Cole moving forward as he closes in on Ben Gartside for the top 10. Riggis 12th, Briley 13th, then it's Berry and Parmowski. 7/10 between them. Stanton and Ramlau. So here is Graham and Gunning once again, and Ramlau's retired. BJ Ramlau has pulled it into the pits to retire. That's a real shame. He's had a really difficult weekend, to be fair. The pace was there yesterday, and it was there in qualifying this morning, but it just hasn't been there of late. So that is a real shame. But Harry Graham leads the way with 1:18 to go. This is the crunch time now for Callum Gunning. As long as he's right on the back of Harry Graham going into the last lap, he can pull off his special magic trick and get the undercut on Harry Graham once again. Let's see if they can get there right to the final lap. 1 minute plus a lap to go. 3 laps to go then. And here's Tom Davison after such a difficult day at the office. He comes in. Chain guard fell off and that was it. Game over. We'll talk to him afterwards. We've got a great race to go here between our 2 leaders up front. Toby Baldry's still there in 3rd just in case something happens. But he needs to keep pushing. He needs to keep charging after it. Harry Graham leading the way. 2nd place, Callum Gunning. 3rd is Toby Baldry. But if Gunning does what he did in races 1 and 2, then all he needs to do is get him on the last lap. Meanwhile, Tom Harvey is working with Louis Ross to try and close up on Nicky Taylor. But he's going to run out of time. Penultimate lap. 2 laps to go, and Harry Graham hanging on in front of Callum Gunning. But from Gunning's point of view, all he has to do is hang on to his position. Harry Graham's doing his very best to get there. Callum Gunning still trying to stretch away. But we're running out of time. We're running out of laps. We have gone absolutely to zero on the timing. So now it's the last lap. And I'm not sure Gunning's close enough yet. Here goes Harry Graham. Callum Gunning trying to get him into that final lap. Here we go. Harry Graham. Surely Gunning's not going to be close enough to go for the lead this time. No, he's not. He's got to do it later on in the lap. But can he do it? Harry Graham charging forward on the last lap. Can he get away from Callum Gunning? Harry Graham has led every lap of this race so far. Can he hang on to it? Callum Gunning's got only a couple more chances to get there. This is going to be a tight run to the flag. He's got to keep it going all the way, but I think he's going to make it. Harry Graham out of the final turn. He will do it this time. Harry Graham wins the final. Oh, brilliant. Harry Graham by .076. Baldry is third. Taylor is fourth from Louis Ross and Tom Harvey. Sam Cunliffe seventh from Dylan Reed and Scott Huntley. Ben Gartside is ninth. What about the battle for the rookies? It's Berry this time. This time Berry beats Palmowski to the flag, but what a great battle it was. Amazing racing. So a very different result to the previous heats and pre-finals. Oh my word, Harry Graham hangs on to it after an amazing battle. Callum Gunning gave everything, but Harry Graham has beaten him to take the second final of the 2018 season. Harry Graham has done it. Callum Gunning second from Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor in fourth position. Louis Ross is there in fifth from Tom Harvey. Sam Cunliffe in seventh. Dylan Reed is eighth. Scott Huntley in ninth place. And Ben Gartside in 10th position from Jack Rigg, Morgan Cole, Lewis Berry, the top rookie in front of Alicia Palmowski. Then it's Connor Stanton and Dylan Briley with... we had a retirement, from Dylan Briley as well, by the look of it. He pulled off the circuit with a mechanical problem, as Vijay Ramlal and Tom Davison also retired with mechanical problems. But, well, how about that? Harry fighting with gusto, on in front of Callum Gunning. He may have lost it in the heat, he may have lost it in the pre-final, but he was never gonna lose it in the final. Great work, and Harry Graham is your victor in the Junior Championship. So, we have Nathan Tye and Harry Graham as our race winners. So that's Harry Graham and Nathan Tye are the winners from the previous finals. Now there's just one race to go here at Clay Pigeon Raceway, and that, of course, is the race for the 125s. The Super Elites are up next. Apologies for the PA mic. We are trying to get it working as much as possible. At least the live stream mic is working. That's the main thing. Right. So now we move on to the Junior 100 final. It's a very, very exciting battle, and we've had some great races all the way through, where we'll hand out our trophy, first of all, to the leading rookie in what has been a really close battle between him and Alicia Palmowski. But your winner this time, the number 80, Lewis Berry! Fantastic job, Lewis. Well done, buddy. Get on the top step of the podium. You're allowed a quick photograph as the top rookie. Of course you are. Brilliant performance. Anybody who wants the picture can grab it very quickly. But there we are. Another big hand, please, to our rookie winner, Lewis Berry, ladies and gentlemen. Great result in the second weekend of the championship. Really good job there. And now we move on to the top three drivers on the dais. In third position, the number 9, Toby Baldry. Well done, Toby. Cracking races throughout. Really competitive drives. Some steely nerved overtaking. In second position, 2 wins and a second today. The 108, Callum Gunning. Great result for Callum. Well done, Callum. And still the championship lead. But the race winner for the first time ever winning a race in the birelART UK Series paddock on the road. A fantastic result, and leaving it to the final. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the number 3, at last, Harry Graham! This one's been a long time coming. Really, really good job for Harry Graham. Such a great drive all weekend. Great from all 4 of our drivers here. Our leading rookie, Lewis Berry, 13th overall in a very close final. Add to our 3 on the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please, Lewis Berry, Toby Baldry, Callum Gunning, and your race winner, Harry Graham! Squeeze onto the top step if you can. Let's get a nice joint photo in there. These will be on social media, of course, very, very quickly. Oh, Toby, don't be so silly. Toby Baudry is about 6 foot taller than everybody else. There we are, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up again, please, for Lewis, for Toby, for Callum, and Harry Graham, your race winner. Now, Harry, before you disappear, we'll grab a quick chat with you. If you all wanted to disappear, you can. Let's bring you down so you're about my level, Harry. This has taken a long time because you've always been very solid and consistent in the top 3, but the win has been a long time. How does it feel now to get it done?
Just been a long time, and so yeah, just really happy with it. And it's taken too long, really, but finally done it. So hopefully can do it every single time now.
And now for your magic trick, the championship.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race between me and Callum, so it's going to be really close, I think.
Game on. Looking forward to it. Well done, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Graham.